Hi, this is Legacy Handyman. Today we're going to show you how to replace the floor in any room. We're doing a laundry room. It's a small square footage. We're gonna attempt to do it in a couple of hours. First thing we're going to do, we're gonna remove the trim and remove the existing floor. It's an old linoleum floor. I don't even know what's the name of this material. We're gonna remove it all the way to the concrete and replace it with a new floor. We're going to remove the existing trim and we're going to replace it with a new one. Not to mess up the paint on the wall, especially if you replace an existing trim. You should take the utility knife or any kind of sharp knife and cut the caulk on top and on the bottom of that trim. Cut a little bit over here on the side of it. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the flat bar and use the hammer to drive and do this process all around the room. Once we remove the trim, now we're ready to remove the transition pieces. This piece doesn't come out, we're gonna have to drill it out. We're going with the slowest speed, and we're gonna apply a lot of pressure. Unfortunately, these screws are heat treated and they are hard to drill, but with a lot of pressure we're gonna be able to do it. Try not to overheat it, because you heat treating it as you're overheating it. So a lot of pressure, slow speed, take your time. Okay, once the head is gone, we're going to remove this and use the vice grips to unscrew that screw out of the cement. Lock it. By the way, all the tools and materials you see in this video, you can find in the link below. Same process on another door. The caulk over here holds it, so we're going to cut it, make it easier. Now all the trim is gone, all the transitions are gone. We're going to just remove existing floor. If you have to cut it. You cut it. And do it throughout the room. Once the old material is gone, you're going to remove as much glue and dirt as possible. We're using this tool. It's an interchangeable blade. And just put some elbow grease on it. Now to remove all the existing glue or any kind of material from the concrete, you want it as clean as possible. We're using the paint removing discs and grinder. Okay, now we prepped everything. It doesn't have to be perfect, but closer you get to the perfect, the better it's gonna be. Prep is everything. Okay, now this is our floor. We're gonna have to cut the jambs a little bit, and that's how you do it. I'm using the Sawzall with a long blade. The reason we have a floor, it'll give us the perfect height, so you don't cut it too low or too high. Now that everything is cut, we're going to fit it through, and we got virtually no gap on the door jambs. So we're ready to set the first piece. We're going over to the wall, all the way here. Make sure the gap is even. Now we're going to measure this side and cut it. Now we need to measure this distance right here. And this is 23 inches. Measure 23 inches. Put the mark on it. And cut this. Okay, now we need to measure how wide it's going to be. Put the mark here. And at this point we just measure this side, which is 19 3/4 from here. Now we're using carpenter square and mark where we're going to cut off. This way. Okay, now we need to connect it together. To connect it, we have to put this on an angle, align it, and now we can insert it where it's supposed to be. That scrap piece that we cut off from that side, we're going to insert it right here. Now we're going to mark the new piece so we can cut it. And we're ready to cut it. We're going to connect these two pieces together and line them up with this. Now you can see all these seams are almost invisible once it's connected properly. Now we got a seam right here and seam right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the third seam right about same distance as here. So we're going to put the small piece first, then full piece, and then another small piece on the other side. Mark, cut. First. Now we're going in the channel, adjust it. Now we'll get that cut-off piece. Going in. Now the full plank. If you see the seam is not the way you like it, you can cut the piece of the scrap, insert it. Or if it's still coming out, you can always use the painter's tape to make it stay together. Now what we're left with is 1 inch gap on this side, and we're gonna have to cut it lengthwise. Same deal with this board. Now we're ready to install that last piece. You can see this gap, but it will be under the trim piece. Now the floor is done. All we need is install the baseboard, and that's what we're gonna do next. I'm going to measure this distance right here. Doing 45. You gotta clean the wall, make sure nothing is on the way, like these nails. They have to come out. We're using wider trim, so it'll cover everything, so we don't have to paint the wall. I'm going to use the nail gun. And nail it down. And pretty much we're going to repeat the same process all around the room. All the trim is installed. It's holding down the floor. Now we're gonna caulk, fill up all the nail holes with the caulk, paintable caulk. Note, do not caulk between the floor and the baseboard. Just the top, yes, because you can paint it. You cannot paint the floor. I'm using a little bitty putty knife to fill up the nail holes. That was Legacy Handyman. We did the floor, everything looks good, trim is painted, everything is done. All we gotta do is put the furniture back in here. This project took us about 4 hours. Please subscribe to our channel, like our videos. Have a good day.